Racing is life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Hello and welcome everybody to the SFR GT Challenge Round 3 here at Misano. We are in for a real exciting one tonight, folks. The championship is heating up and it could not be closer at this current moment. Current leader of the championship is Albert Trengisi, with Jace Wright trailing him by 1 point right now. Very, very tight margins on the line here in Italy tonight. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. I hope you guys are having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. As I said, we are in for a thriller tonight, as well as, like I said before, this is round 3. We have round 4 next week at the Circuit of the Americas. Coda, of course, one of everyone's favorite tracks, I know. I say that slightly ironically, of course. I personally love the track. Sweeping corners, got a little bit of everything, but right now we got our focus on Misano. Very tight, twisty, windy, lots of chicanes, and a lot of corners where you can get a lot of trouble very quickly, especially in that first sector. The triple right-hander that leads into a flowing left onto the back straight, where everything is going to be really determined. That's where you're going to make or break your opportunities through the Del Rio complex. we, as it stands here, actually are in qualifying. We'll hop into that here in a moment. In fact, when we get into that right now, we can see we have a few drivers out there. Currently, the Brazilian of Nause out on track, doing their first lap. And currently 1:33.7 is the time to beat. But for now, big thank you to everyone that is participating in this championship. And if you guys are interested, check the description of the stream below, or VOD if you are watching it afterwards. They still have slots available in this league. There's $100 on the line, as well as the top 3 getting a full setup, or a, what is the, excuse me, I forget the exact word, but a top-notch setup bundle, I think is the one off memory, that you will be receiving if you do end up in that top 3. So best of luck to everyone participating, and like I say, slots still available. We are only in round 3 right now. Plenty of opportunities to gain and lose points here for these drivers. It's going to be a doubleheader tonight, 30-45 doubleheader. Round 1, of course, well, both races will be having a mandatory pit stop, 25 fixed seconds in the pits, 5 additional seconds for tires if the drivers would like. I predict here in race 1, we may not see too many drivers taking tires, but in race 2, will be interesting. It'll be an interesting strategy call. I personally do not know. It's definitely down to some of these cars and the tire wear that it puts on it. We see a very 296 dominant grid here tonight, and we see the Spirit Onyx team, lovely livery, currently lapping the track with a bit of traffic in front there. Lamborghini catching him out, and that's going to definitely hinder his lap here. BMW moving out of the way to the best of their abilities. But nonetheless, that is going to be pretty much a ruined lap there for Vinicius? I'm so sorry. Not sure how to pronounce that Brazilian letter, or Portuguese letter, excuse me. Currently, Albert Tranghisi, though, trailing in the time charts, something he has not done all championship thus far. He has been dominating the time charts. We'll see if he can keep that going. The number 1 driver. Number 2 in the game. I'm not sure how the Lamborghini managed to pull that off. We also, as I'm looking at it, have the return of none other here than Rocky Rocco of the Rockefeller Racing. Love to see him back out on track after some health issues and complications. He had a bit of a month off, I would say, maybe even a little bit more. So he may be a little out of practice, but currently up in the time charts. Currently P7. Nice job. Great effort from Rocky early on here in the session. He will be struggling with his leg a little bit potentially. Hopefully he's nursed that back up to proper health. Ooh, very twitchy there for Leonardo Nave through the back complex, or that is the final few corner complex there. And also getting in the way of the Lamborghini. These drivers struggling to find the gaps on track. There is a very large section, though, in which if you do just delay 1 lap, if your lap is invalidated, you might as well go and find that big ol' squishy gap between the number 30 Porsche here of Mike Gravelle, and in the number 12 car there of, is that Silva? Silva actually up into P2 as well in the Spirit Onyx Racing team. The Brazilians coming out strong here tonight. Jace Wright, currently P4, the controller king. He's on an invalid lap looking to improve, but also looking to improve is Albert Tranghisi. And Lico Virtual Racing supporting the Spirits Onyx Racing team. That's going to be Doozy. Is it Doozy? I think that's how you say that. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, though. Silva and Rousseau. Definitely have some names here to learn tonight. The Brazilians coming out with some ones that are tricky for the American brain that I have here. Is it Cunha? Cunha? There's a silent letter in there, and I'm not sure which letter is silent. Cunha da Silva. Definitely mispronouncing that. It is what I'm going to roll with for now, unfortunately, as I do not have any better guesses. As well as Vinicius in P1 currently. And Doozy supporting himself, Silva Andrews so as well. Can we get a phonetic? I don't know if you guys speak English, please. I really hope you do. Can we please get a phonetic breakdown of your names? Like basically what that would mean is like a how to pronounce the name in kind of parentheses. As Vinicius. Like I say, I'm just not so sure where to put the emphasis on the syllables on that one. I'm close, I think. But also, Albert Tranghisi up to pole position. While we're trying to figure that out. Doozy is 12 years old? Yo. That's pretty sick. Alright. So, Vinicius is 12 years old and currently in P2. Why did it switch? Where did he go? Did he just disconnect? Oh, no, I think he just disconnect. Oh, let's hope he gets back into the session. Because holy smokes, if that kid is 12 years old and this quick already, he has some good prospects in his future looking up for him, no doubt. Santiago Venegas in the Ethereum Esports in P4, the 296 dominant out there tonight, but the Charging Bulls creeping up in the positions as well. Daniel Madrano in P3 with Jace Wright not too far behind in terms of the time charts, only about 2/10 separating them. Rocky Rocco sitting in P6th, has a bit of a margin, about 3.5 towards Santiago Venegas. Venegas here creeping up on Jace Wright's tail as well, but a bit of a margin. Needs to really put together a good lap here in the closing sectors of this qualifying. Also still have not seen Doozy joining back just yet. Hopefully we see him back soon. Also, I'm assuming Doozy, that's a different Doozy, if I had to predict, now that I'm looking at it. And yes, that is just definitely my bad. Apologies. Kunha? Please tell me if I need a proper... Is it Kunha? Or Chunha? No. No, it's not a CH. It's Kunha. Or something along those lines. But it doesn't sound that Brazilian or Portuguese, in my opinion. But I'm not Portuguese, so I'm definitely not the judge for that. I'm famously terrible at pronouncing names, and I do apologize, everybody. I'm trying my best, though. I would like to learn how to properly pronounce it, so if you guys messaging me afterwards, I appreciate all of the banter and whatnot. Mike Gravelle and Patrick Dubois. Definitely maybe a little too much spice on those names the first time around. Patrick Dubois getting caught up with some traffic a little bit there. That BMW getting out of the way quite, well, as much as he can. Mulis. Good effort there from Gray in the, okay, listen here. BMW number 55 out there on track. And Doozy is back, thankfully. Vinicius back out on track and eager to get a lap underway. Is going to be able to do so, as this is quite the short track. 2.6 miles here at Misano tonight. Track founded in 1972. Current layout that we use from 2008, though. And located in Misano, Adricato, Italy. Very fast-flowing, 16 corners, 6 to the left, 10 to the right. It's tricky, that first sector. That's where a lot of those corners come at you, and extremely quickly as well. Definitely a place where you can make or break your lap very easily. Also, good overtaking opportunities into the first few chicanes. Or into, excuse me, off of the first, where we're looking, not right now, we're coming into the penultimate corner, into the curve of Misano currently. But we'll ride along with Jace Wright in the Fuchsia Competition Esports, or the Fuchsia Competition, yeah, Esports, okay. This livery changes names every time I see it. Lovely first few corners. The Controller King, very, very seesawy on the wheel, but that is just the nature of it. Now into the triple right-hander. Porsche being very generous, getting out of the way, breaking that 50 board. Getting it slowed down in time, nicely riding the curbs on the inside to wash out. Take a very aggressive turn to get as far right and get the best exit you can here onto the straight. Lovely job there from Jace Wright. Is going to get that power laid down nicely in the Lamborghini on a knife's edge. Gained about a 10th so far. You can see there opening up that corner very early and attacking the apex before you even reach the end of the straight. That's aiming for your, well, aiming basically is what you're trying to do there for the correct part of the track, and that is what Jace Wright has managed to do, especially through here on to the back not so straight bit now. Flat out for a good while now. I think about 0.6 of a mile it's going to be flat out for. Oh, 0.3 of a mile, 0.4 of a mile, excuse me, on this track. And that double apex here. Lovely, getting it stopped in time onto the throttle again. Very aggressive, down into first gear, using that engine braking nicely. Big corrections though, but that's just once again the nature of the controller. So controlled for being in a controller. Lovely penultimate corner, flat out. Now through curve to Misano. On the throttle a little bit early, maybe could have broke a tiny bit later there. What's it going to be for Jace Wright? His final lap, he comes across the line. It is going to be no improvement. P5 for now. Vinicius Doozy. It's also probably not Doozy. I don't think you pronounce the D either. That's probably silent. But regardless, we'll ride on board with him as well in the final sector. This lap is looking like an absolute barnstormer here. What is he going to put in? A little bit deep there. Or is that? That might just be the line, and I'm just not good enough to know that. That's very possible. Attacks those curbs in the 296. Very aggressive, flat out through the penultimate corner. Now down the gears in curve of Misano. You can see no hesitation on the throttle, but no hesitation on the throttle has resulted in an invalidation on a lap that was up 1.2 seconds. He only had to improve less than a 10th. He was on a flyer, and he pushed it just to the edge there, and it was just too far. Vinicius Doozy, the 12-year-old driver, which is incredible to say. Technology has come a long way, as so has the internet. What an effort, though. Really wanted to put in the best lap he possibly could. Wasn't able to do so, unfortunately. And that is going to be the end of our qualifier with Albert Tranghisi on pole position. Trango, as they call him, the previous Friday Night Season 2 champion. Looking to make that happen again. Currently leading the championship, but as I said before, Jace Wright only 1 point behind. He didn't put in the qualifying that he was looking for, though, to contend with in this race. We'll see, though. This is going to be the qualifying for race 1 tonight. It's going to be 2 races, like I said before, a 30-minute followed up by a 45-minute race. Doubleheader tonight. Oh, Sharkbait, I am so disappointed I didn't come up with that, but also, great job. Now that is what you call a doozy, yes indeed. Because I'm not sure what the game is waiting for. All drivers have completed their qualifying laps, I can assure you that. Just waiting for the session to change over now and head over into that race session. Track limits. It's going to be a challenge here at Misano. Some drivers going to be pushing the limits just a little bit too much, as we saw from Doozy. Another part they can push in is even in the first chicane and on the exit there into the second little corner complex, the triple right-hander. Very easy to cut the exit onto the straight and try to carry just a little bit too much speed, but that can also put you right into those sausage curbs that can truly ruin a lap in a matter of no time. So like I say, I'm not sure what the game is waiting for here. It is still waiting. All right, I was really hoping for that to change already. Nonetheless, I hope everyone in chat here is having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you guys are in this fine world. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. If you guys aren't familiar, I'm the commentator over at Trackalicious, another North American community where we run races over there as well. Actually got a 6-hour race coming up if anyone's interested in that. You can follow, just look up Trackalicious SimGrid. I'm sure you'll be able to find it, or I can post a link in chat, I think. Send a cheeky little link to the Trackalicious SimGrid as that 6-hour coming up is going to be truly exciting. It's going to be a multi-class race. 6 hours at Watkins Glen. As well as other championships as well. Nonetheless, we are here at SFR GT Challenge tonight. $100 on the line for the championship, as well as 3 Coach Dave full bundle sets. I completely forgot the name again. I butchered it once more. And if you guys are interested in that link will be in the description at all times. Easy to access. And while you're down there in the description, if you guys want to hit the like on the stream and maybe that subscribe button, both of those are free. It helps out a lot here in the algorithm for YouTube. So thank you guys in advance for that. Nonetheless, we have 17 drivers out here tonight. Why don't we get in here and meet them? And I already do apologize in advance to the drivers that I butcher their names, because I can assure you there will be a couple of them. We're going to try, though, as we have it. Starting in P1, it is going to be Trango himself, Albert Tranghisi, lined up here on the front row. Next to him, it's going to be Vinicius Duzzi, the 12-year-old Brazilian driver in the Spirit Onyx team. The number 25 looking to put on a great result tonight. We'll see if he was a little bit too eager in that qualifying lap. If he translates to race, we'll find out. Cunha da Silva, in P3. The other Spirit Onyx driver, one more out there on track as well, going to be lined up next to Daniel Madrano, also on the second row in 4th. Jace Wright in the Fuchs Competition Esports in P5. The Lamborghinis breaking up the sea of Ferraris, the only 2 up there, with Santiago Vengas back to the Ferrari 296 there, the Colombian driver in the Ethereum Esports team, looking to put on a nice one tonight as well. Rocky Rocco in the Rockefeller Racing, going to be ringed up the 647 in P7, with Fabiano Rousseau lined up next to him in row 4 in the 8 Spirit Onyx team as well. Devin Anthony will be in P9, the 664. Lined up next to him, Joe Raymer in P10. Rounding out our top 10 there, the Nameless Racing, number 76. Justin Gottlieb, I think. Gottlieb, I apologize in advance, like I said before. In P11, the number 1 Lamborghini, stealing the number 1 there from Tranghisi. Todd Tillery will be behind him in the Tango 13 Racing, number 26, 296. Patrick Dubois, 13th fastest, the number 87 Lamborghini Rockefeller Racing Dubois, out on track next to Anthony Macho Camacho in the Audi, the lone Audi on track tonight, next to the lone BMW, the number 55 here of Gray Mullis in the, okay, listen here, Leonardo Nav will be behind him in the number 21 Baffle Motorsports in P16. And last but not least here, it's going to be the number 30 Gravel Trap Racing Porsche 992. I think it might be 991. It's 992 though. Of Michael Gravelle. You can hear that flat 6 as the sound resumes. Roaring away here tonight down the down the curves of Misano. Tricky, tight track here. And Tranghisi Design saying that Gottlieb, that sounds actually kind of right. Gottlieb is supposed to be the number 36. Seems that some numbers have been butchered a little bit here tonight, as Tranghisi himself has had his number stolen ever so brutally from him. I'm sure that'll be fixed in the next week. Minor errors, obviously. Nobody at fault for that. .6 mile outlap here in Adrucato, Italy, or in the Adrucato region of Italy in Misano. whopping 10 meters of elevation change here. Is not quite that much going to be happening. A lot of that, of course, in the dips and down towards the little, as you can see, triple right-hander in the first sector. Bit of elevation through there. Other than that, fairly flat here. As the drivers get ready now. The calm before the storm. Albert Tranghese in pole position. Vinicius Duzzi in P2, looking to take the lead here early on, I would imagine. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. We're here at Misano, 2.6 miles. So we get ready here to go green, 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 heading now to the first chicane, and it's going to be a smashing start for the Brazilian driver. He's immediately going to take the lead, but can he hold it? We're 3 wide behind as well. 3 wide from a few more. Bumping and banging up at the front is Tranghese, trying to take the lead back from Duzzi, but no, Duzzi has firmly secured it. So has Silva behind, firmly in P3 with Daniel Matreno. Chasing down the inside now into the triple right-hander. Both drivers leaving enough space for another car to firmly fit in between, and Jace Wright might be taking that full opportunity, but no, not quite. Silva caught a little bit deep, getting some, maybe not quite enough heat into the tires. We see Jace Wright, or no, excuse me, that's Santiago Vengas with an amazing exit, immediately challenging Jace Wright, taking that position. Some contact there. Jace Wright late into the braking zone. Big pile up as we have 3 drivers off. That's Santiago Vengas. Silva getting tangled up in that as well. It was such a great start for Silva, and there wasn't much he could do there. Jace Wright definitely not going to be feeling too good about himself after that. Devin Anthony is going to continue side by side with Jace Wright, but ahead for now in the Rockefeller Racing with Fabiano Rousseau closely behind in the Spirit Owners Racing after getting a little bit tangled up in that incident as well. Jace Wright with a good drive. We're going to tune in up at the front here with Albert Tranghese, who lost the lead of the race here at the first few corners. Vinicius Duzzi off to a great start, but is that going to make him wear a little bit more into the tires? We'll find out later on. It seems, though, the pace is there for the Brazilian at the start of this race. Albert maybe settling into a little bit of a rhythm and looking ahead to the future pit stop, of course. 1 mandatory pit stop tonight. Jace Wright, though, going to be head down after that incident and trying not to cause another one. Is behind. Oh my goodness, side by side we go. Joey Raymer and Fabiano Rousseau into the first few chicanes. Nothing going to happen of it, though. With Jace Wright still biting at the heels here of the McLaren. And a very good opportunity here for the Fuchsia competition to make a move down the inside here. The gap is there from Devin Anthony. I'm not sure if he is going to be choosing to let this position go at the beginning here and maybe just try to use Jace Wright's pace to his advantage. It might be that decision, actually. Up at the front, Tranghese still trying to reel Duzzi in, or at least keep him reeled in and keep a gap manageable. Doesn't need to go for anything too early, as at this stage of the race, it's not that important who is leading. And some support in chat there for Mulis and Nevada, as well as Silva and Rousseau and Duzzi. You love to see it. The Brazilian love being thrown out there. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for leaving a like on the stream and subscribing. You guys are all awesome. A bit further behind, we have the Rocky Rocco of Rockefeller Racing himself here, making a move onto Gottlieb. At least having a think about it. You can see that Ferrari getting out of shape there into the braking zone. Whoa, and maybe a little bit of rust there from Rocky Rocco, as it's been a while, not too much practice under the, or behind the wheel there of this 296 as of recently due to health issues, and unfortunately, what has happened up here? Devin Anthony and Fabiano Rousseau have just lost 2 positions. See if we can catch this. As we have a look. Whoa! My people need me, everybody. What just happened? Not sure how to digest that one, I'm going to be completely honest. Fabiano Rousseau, he continues on. Just had a brief visit into outer space with the fellow aliens and was maybe trying to take some advice from them. He's going to need it to get that overtake done onto Jace Wright. For P12 here, P11 rather, we have Silva, who is trying to have a decent recovery drive in that Spirit Onyx team, getting caught up early on. Jace Wright having a little bit of a tag with Silva, and now having to dispatch of the Macho Man himself, Anthony Camacho. Struggling to do so. There's a reason I call this man Anthony Macho Camacho. He has some macho defense, and he's showing it right now, actually. The Brazilian driver is going to have a good run, though, with the inside line. This should be pretty much done and dusted. Up ahead, Fabiano Rousseau has had a yellow flag and is off in the same part of the track that he disappeared in last lap. What has happened here? Rousseau in the middle there. A little late on the brakes. Oh, maybe not. Actually, the McLaren, a little late on the brakes, has a little cheeky tag and sends him around. Very unfortunate there for Fabiano. He's going to be looking to make that up quickly, too. Enrico Ferreira, excuse me, in chat. Is that Ferreira? Hold on. Yes, I think it is Ferreira in chat there, showing the Brazilian love, raising the roof a little bit there for the Brazilians. I know one of the things I love about the Brazilians, which we actually, oh man, hold that thought. Silva gonna be making some moves again onto that McLaren, which had a bit of an incident there. Whoa. Off the track, maybe some bumping and banging. I didn't quite catch that. Definitely some bumping and banging there. Onto the start-finish line we go. It's going to be lap 4 complete with a attempted move onto the outside of the first chicane here. Nothing yet, though. Fabiano Rousseau. That's Anthony Macho Camacho, excuse me, behind. Looking to make some moves as well. They go into the triple right-hander. It's a double right-hander, excuse me. It's not a triple right-hander. Have I been... Is it a triple right-hander? Hold on. 1, 2. It's a double right-hander. I can't count, everybody. The double right-hander. Been saying it wrong the whole time, making a fool of myself as normal. For the Onyx Racing team... Or Spirit Onyx team, excuse me. Looking to make up places. All the Spirit drivers are looking to make up places, except for one. The one leading the race right now, Vinicius Duzzi, taking the current throne. But Albert Tranghisi is going to want to change that by the end of the race, the number 1 driver. Jace Wright with a yellow flag. What has happened here? It looks like Anthony Camacho, or that's Todd Tillery, excuse me. Let's see what happened between these two drivers. You can see that Ferrari off, and oh, a misread of the situation. Jace going for a move there. I'm not sure who is at fault. Stewart's definitely going to be having a look at that one. Some drivers already making their pit stop. But before, what I was going to say is, over on Trackalicious, the league that I typically commentate for, we have a Porsche Cup series where we have a humongous Brazilian presence. So if you guys are looking for a race where we actually have a Portuguese commentator, as well as a lot of Brazilians, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Lucas Mind, the little Brazilian himself. He races in that league, and it is lacking some drivers, to say it. We definitely have a few. We're short on some drivers. We're looking for numbers, so if you guys are interested in that, I'd check out the link. Once again, here I can link the championship directly is what I'll do this time. And you guys Sunday nights at 7:30 Eastern Time. Oh, I'm not sure wherever that is for you guys in the world. There is the link in chat to that championship. Very awesome one on Sundays. And some support for the number 55 there of Gray Mullis. Mullis, excuse me. Mullis in P14 currently. Trying to make some positions up in the... Okay, listen here. The number 55, though, with a bit of a gap between both him, Rocky... Ooh, Rocky actually has made his pit stop. That is why he's so far behind. So, currently last in the order in terms of the pit stop phase is Gray Mullis. Fabiano Rousseau in the Spirit Onyx team can hop on board here as he tries to de-position here, or go for the 9th spot here. Anthony Camacho, he's shown what he can do on the defense. He's going to run deep into this corner. Oh no, but Rousseau gets a big moment mid-corner, the pressure on his shoulders there, and he drops the ball, unfortunately. He's going to have to regain all of that hard work. Jace Wright dropping a position as well to Silva here, at least. For now, inside line going to be taken flat out through the back, not so straight now into the double right-hander again. This one's a triple right-hander, I suppose. This is the triple right-hander, excuse me. And nicely done there from Silva. Patrick Dubois. What does he have in store? Leonardo Nav, the number 21 McLaren here, seemingly under pressure with a very poor last lap relative to the field around him. 136.9 compared to Dubois, who is in the 35.5's last lap. The Rockefeller Racing Lamborghini definitely has some pace there. Maybe a bit out of position. We'll see if he can make that up by the end. Also, of course, there is race 2 to look forward to as well. And the drivers won't be forgetting that. Lovely driving from both drivers showing a great display. Leaving plenty of space. Oh no! Dubois! We're watching that one on board, everybody. So we're going to see these drivers have the most respectful bout of racing I've seen in a long time. Could basically fit a double-decker bus in the middle of them. Now coming back, switchback attempt was lovely, but you could see the McLaren kind of stepped out. As a result, Dubois had to lift off the throttle. He may have even tapped the brake, and that definitely, if he tapped the brake, would have done him in. And we are going to see Devin Anthony come in for his stop. We are approaching that halfway point. A little early still, in my opinion, to be going for something. But I am not their strategist. The undercut, though, could be fairly strong. Going for the fresher tires, but with a 30-minute race, the issue is you're just not using that much of your tires. I don't think we're going to see too many drivers stop 4 tires. As I say that, actually, though, looking at the pit times, that doesn't seem to be the case. I think drivers that don't take tires in the 30-minute race will be rewarded for that effort. I do not think 5 seconds is going to be made up in 15 minutes, but hey, Misano is a track that you can really wear your tires out quickly, and you get some flat spots on there I can very easily understand. It could definitely be worth the 5 seconds. Gray Mullis here trying to negotiate Michael Gravelle, but not having any luck just yet. Deep goes Michael Gravelle, and Mike unfortunately not able to hold the position. That will be the position easily handed to the OK listen here. Unless... Does Gravelle have anything to say? Seems we've had disconnect? No, we've had a join. Okay, we have somebody joining us for the next race. Lovely. Also, what an effort Silva has been putting in. Kuna sounds a lot more reasonable than what I was saying before, I won't lie. But it also doesn't sound right. Regardless, Kuna de Silva, currently in P4, with Santiago Vengas. The two South Americans, different countries, of course, going to be having a little bit of a scrap. Hopefully no coming together. This is for the podium paying positions, though. And a big send there. And a huge look down the inside. Is going to be enough room for the 296 to go side by side. No, not really. He almost made enough room for himself, but Santiago giving him just enough space to not have a collision, but that, of course, Santiago at his full right to that corner. He decides it at the apex. That is his or not, and it definitely was. Santiago here. Definitely struggling. Lap times falling relative to his best. Comes across the line. It will be a 1:34.31. Actually, his new best lap. All right, fair enough. He's pushing now that he has somebody to push him behind. But I think Silva, who has about a 3.5 faster lap in general. Is that going to be enough, though? It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to overtake. In Misano, there really aren't too many opportunities. As we come out of this corner here, we are going to be setting ourselves up to go down the inside, though, of the big hairpin where Fabiano Rousseau has had an incident up ahead. Big send. Late on the brakes. Can he get it done, though? Sticks it down the inside. Just enough room being left for the two drivers. Very respectful racing from both Silva and Vengas. Vengas, though, with a better drive. Silva down the inside, though, of the back hairpin onto the back straight. I think that is going to do it. Lovely fighting there from Silva. And dispatches Vengas and just hands off to both drivers there. Is that hands off? I don't think that's what you're supposed to say. Hats off. That's what the saying is. Hats off to both. Hands off. Brain. Okay. Hats off to both drivers. Oh, Fabiano Rousseau really struggling. For leaving each other enough space there and not having any sort of contact whatsoever. That was a very impressive display of driving. Also, Justin Gottlieb has had a great gain so far. He's up 5 positions from where he started. Now he is currently second position out of the pit runners, actually, out of the drivers that have made their pit stop. I think Santiago Vengas will be potentially coming out behind. I have no idea what the gap is between Vengas and Devin Anthony, as the game does not want to tell me. Nonetheless, in the pit stops, you're looking in terms of stop time here at Misano, around a 63-second pit time in total. Stop time, we're seeing these drivers be stationary for around 30 to, well, some 35 seconds, not too great for the tire changes. Now, if you don't opt to take tires, you can knock 5 seconds off of that. It is just 25 seconds required stationary with fuel being added at the pit stop. So if you do opt for no tires, which we do see some drivers doing, Devin Anthony opted for no tires. Justin opted for no tires. And look at what that has done for them in terms of track positions. However, Jace Wright on those fresher tires, making the moves, also making a bit of contact there into the first chicane. Luckily doesn't lose a position just yet to Rocky Rocco, who also did take tires in the pit stop. So going to be on that fresh Pirelli rubber, looking to make some big tears into these positions. And a stop-go 30 penalty given to Vengas. That is going to be as a result of speeding in the pits. That will shake things up here huge. He is going to drop pretty much all the way back down to more or less P11. even further down, I predict. Vengas, he started in P6. He's up 2 positions now, but that most certainly will not be the case at the end of this race. Into the pits go our 2 leaders, Albert Tranghisi as well as Vinicius Nause, the 12-year-old Brazilian driver. I will say that a million times because my goodness. We'll see how that shakes up. Both drivers coming in at the same lap. And Tranghisi did not take tires, and Nause did. That is once again going to throw a doozy into this circumstance because the driver behind here on the fresh rubber. Now, both drivers are going to be on, well, I guess, excuse me, more Tranghisi is going to be on warmer tires than Nause. Nause is going to have about a lap to need to get those tires into the correct window before he has that optimal amount of grip, but it looks like he is going to go for it regardless. But no, you can see the lack there of grip. He needs to take this lap very calm. He can't scrub the tires off. Be patient. You have 9 minutes and 20 seconds. I know, that's basically the entirety of his life. But Nause, the 12-year-old, like I say, that is so impressive. I'm not trying to throw shade in any way there. That is just a tribute here to, like I say, the internet and just technology in general. Is a 12-year-old out there competing with the likes of Albert Tranghisi and Rocky Rocco. No offense, Rocky, but Rocky definitely not the youngest lad on the grid. Let's just say that. Love you, Rocky. But Vinicius, after this lap, does he have enough heat into his tires? That is the question to ask. With 8 minutes left, Tranghisi is going to have a real challenge to hold on. This is a nice train of cars as well, all the way back from P4 to P8. In fact, it's more than that. It's all the way back from Silva. As they nicely negotiate that first chicane. Rocky Rocco, does he smell blood in the water here? Speak of the old dog, and he will show up. I'm sorry, Rocky. Vengas also, interestingly enough, hasn't served that penalty yet. He will need to serve that penalty within 3 laps, or he will receive a more major one, even potentially a disqualification. I'm not sure. The Brazilian, I think he wants this prize here. You can see him. The heat is there for the tires and on that fresh rubber. Also, actually, I think Tranghisi did take fresh tires looking at his stop time. No, he didn't. No, he did not. No, he didn't. No, never mind. He didn't. So, Tranghisi definitely on old rubber, and you can see there a bit of a twitch mid-corner when Nause, with full grip, able to attack these corners more aggressively, but you can't attack a corner if there's a car right in front of you. Bruno Yamamoto in chat supporting Nause. As well as the Spirit Onyx team. There's a few of those drivers on a bit of a recovery drive. Vengas has made his penalty, and Rocky Rocco has made an incident. Or made an accident, I don't know. He's crashed somewhere. Nause all over the back here of Tranghisi. This is going to be the back not so straight, heading into Curva del Carro. You can line up an overtake, but you need to be so confident here as we approach now the penultimate corner, flat out left-hander here in towards the curve to Misano. And we are running out of laps. Nause needs to get a hurry on here. But this track just so tricky to overtake. Leonardo Nave has had an accident as well. Yellow flags on track in the first chicane. We actually might be approaching that here soon. You can see the gravel being kicked up as a result, and Vinicius takes it easy. Or does he? Takes that alternate line in the first corner, and Tranghese washes wide. It really gives Vinicius that bone to just drool over momentarily. But the gap, if he went for that, it would definitely result in his nose coming off very quickly. You can see these blue flags being dispatched here. Potentially dicey situations at hand here, as this is a battle on track, actually, between Michael Gravelle and Todd Tillery. But they do need to be cautious. This is the battle for the lead. Todd Tillery is going to sneak through as Michael Gravelle is off. And Vinicius here doing what he can to keep up. As it stands, half a second between the two drivers, approaching now what is more than likely going to be the third to last lap. We're looking at the lap times currently of about 1:34, a little bit off the qualifying pace, which was around the 1:32 board, at least approaching close to that. We see a 1:33.2, the fastest lap tonight from Nause. Tranghese in this series is the version of Max Verstappen, says Haywood. I'm not sure that's so true, as there is currently, even statistically I don't think that's true, there's currently only 1 point separating him and Jace Wright in the championship. Now that is looking to change, but you never know, anything can happen in racing, and it most certainly almost always does, as we do almost see that. And also, Santiago Vengas does receive a disqualification. I presume that was for picking up 2 penalties on the, or within the same span of time. If you have a start with 30 and you pick up another penalty, I think that will result in disqualification, and I predict that is what happened to Vengas there. Really unfortunate, as he was on for a great result. Started in P6, was in P4, but not this time around for him. Definitely going to be looking forward to the second race. I most certainly am looking forward to the second race, as well as Jace Wright. Speak of the devil, he has picked up a drive-through penalty for exploring track limits one too many times, and that is going to shake this championship up quite a bit and give the lead to Tranghese here in race 1. There is 2 races, though. Of course, Tranghese, he could have a disqualification in the next race, theoretically. I'm not saying that's going to be the case. Nause, though, with 2 more laps to go, is running out of opportunities. Jace Wright as well, chasing down Devin Anthony. He almost had the opportunity, but no. That hope is going to be shattered. But also, I don't see a 20-second gap in the lead. That's also why he's not Max Verstappen. Oh, and that Rockefeller car is off. That's going to be... Who was that? Daniel Madrano? No. The only other Lamborghini out there, I suppose, of Jace Wright. No. I don't know who that was. Oh, it's Dubois. That was Dubois. My bad. I completely forgot. Sorry, Dubois. Nause, 1.3 seconds is the gap. Tranghese was behind at the start of the pit phase. He went for no tire change, and Nause did opt for a tire change. Was that the difference? I would almost certainly say so. Race 2, it will be a different story. With a 45-minute race, I think most drivers will be taking tires. But here in race 1, at 30 minutes, even at 45 minutes, it's a question of if. You can still get away with it. The tire life in ACC, you can get around with about 1 hour of driving before the tires really become noticeably different. Some yellow flags and some stuff has happened in the back. I'm not sure what's going on in the pit lane. Hopefully everybody's all right down there, as we are now on to the final lap. Vinicius will have one more. Thank you, Mr. In-game commentator. We have one more lap to decide the championship. Not championship. A little early for that. It's race 3, everybody. Albert Trigger, to decide this current race. Of course, one more 45-minute race will be coming up after this. So do not go anywhere for that. There will be a 20-minute qualifying session. We'll have a small little break in between. But we will resume quickly after that. As this could come down to the final corner, everyone. In fact, no, it will not. It's happened. Tranghese has made a mistake. Doozy was waiting for it on those fresher tires. Tranghese goes deep into the corner. The Brazilians are out of their seat right now. And Vinicius Doozy, the 12-year-old driver, is now leading the race here. And Tranghese, is he out of fuel? Oh my goodness. I said that there was going to be a big change in points in the championship and that Tranghese could theoretically DNF. I did not know what I was talking about when I said this, or rather, I was not thinking about this even. Vinicius Doozy is going to come across the line for P1. Albert Tranghese may not even come across the line, everybody. Vinicius in the Spirit Onyx Racing team comes across the line for P1. Silva takes P2. Albert Tranghese pulls off to a slip road for retirement, everybody. Huge. Devin Anthony is off. What is going on this last lap? This could not be any more crazy. Justin Gottlieb has somehow, and I don't even think if you asked him he could answer this, ended his way up onto the podium. Patrick Dubois is out of fuel. Oh my goodness. Everybody not quite getting the calculations right on their fuel here, and it has just turned into catastrophe for some of these drivers. Dubois trying to cut the track. I don't think it's going to happen, brother. You do not have enough momentum. Somebody's going to need a push, but oh my goodness. Tranghese does not finish this race. Neither does Dubois. Moulis ran out of fuel. Oh my goodness as well. And Haywood, what was that comment that you said earlier? The Max Verstappen. If only he was the Max Verstappen. I wish that, no. Did I say that on stream? No. I think everybody does at this point, but regardless, it's what a race finish there. My goodness. Incredible drive from Vinicius Doozy, the 12-year-old SOT driver. Cunha da Silva in P2 and Justin Gottlieb somehow into P3. Like I said, I don't think he knows. He's up 8 positions from where he started. A masterclass of a drive and a podium finish there for Justin at the very end, sneaking his way up into the back. He's the Kyle Larson of this series. That's a bit more accurate, I think. Yeah, definitely. Very, very unfortunate as we wait to head over into the qualifying. We'll have a little bit of an intermission in between here where you're about to hear some music. There we go. Okay. We're going to get into a little bit of a brief intermission, and we will be back shortly. as we head now back into the qualifying 2 session, and I more than likely should have changed the camera filters on, or the cameraman rather should have changed the filters here before heading into the qualifying, but hey, nonetheless, we are here in the night session. Qualifying has been shaken up quite a bit. Your braking markers much harder to see. Just everything much harder to see. The drivers around you, of course, they do have their night lights running. You can see that big LED bar on the front end of that McLaren, which is going to penetrate a nice hole into the night here. Coming around in the middle sector now. Jay Raymer on an invalid lap, actually not quite managing to keep it between the mayo and the mustard this time around. I'm going to be looking to improve on that here in the near future, no doubt. You like the dark night filter? I think I didn't change it. It doesn't look like I changed it. Did I hit apply? Hold on. No, it is set to it. Why does it look so bright? Or it looks so dark? This game, it looks great in night when you are a driver, but in order to see these incredible liveries that these drivers have put some amazing effort into, I really want to showcase them. And, well, the night settings don't quite allow that, as every car just looks the same when you do that. It looks either... Okay, awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Dawson. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight once again. Of course, this is the SFR GT Challenge Friday Night Season 3. We are at Round 3 as well here at Misano. Next week will be Circuit of the Americas. It's going to be 60 minutes. This time around, a 45 doubleheader. A little bit different. In fact, this is going to be the same format as the finale at Barcelona. All the other races, 60, 75 minutes. Bit of variation. What is on the line, Mike, you ask me? Well, what is on the line, of course, is $100 dollaroonies, 100 smackaroos, however you want to call it, USD. Straight up dosh to the winner for first place, and all podium winners receive a sponsored Coach Dave Academy top-notch setup bundles, which once again, thank you so much to Coach Dave for providing that for us, and thank you to SimGrid for providing all of this amazing, well, the platform that you provide in general. You guys want a look at that championship? You can see in the description, you can find a link to that, which for some reason I can't click on. Can you guys click on that? That's weird. It's not showing up as a link for me, but interesting. Regardless, that is the link. If you guys copy-paste it, not sure why it's not showing up as a hyperlink. Of course, it's put on by SFR GT Challenge. Also, speaking of SimGrid, if you guys, I guess, are interested, tomorrow morning, I don't really have a link, I suppose, or I may, but regardless, keep an eye out on the SimGrid channel, because they are going to be having a, what is it, the Road to the Grand Finals qualifiers as tomorrow. I'm going to be commentating in it. How did I forget what the heck I'm commentating in? 2 hours at Emilia-Romagna. It'll be at, I think, it's a very early time for us Americans. I know that. It's 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. for me, so I think that is 8:30 a.m. for the East Coasters. Like I say, keep an eye on the SimGrid channel for that, because they are going to be streaming that, and yours truly will be in the booth. Silva looking for a bit of a redemption this time around and trying to stick it on to pole position. The number 12 Spirit Onyx team rounding the final corner now, and on a great lap. We saw this corner claim the lives of many laps, but no, not this time around. He comes to the line, and it's going to be a significant improvement. Can't even see the times. There we go, 1:33.06. 6/10 quicker than Vinicius' teammate there. Albert Tranghisi coming up 2.5 tenths off the pace as well. And Dawson is so hyped for COTA. I am as well. I love COTA so much. I know it is not the most popular track. Some drivers not quite too thrilled. I know track limits, if it's a bit of an issue on this track, it's really going to be a bit of an issue next week. track limits really make or break it. Of course, I think 20 corners at COTA? It's 23 at Bathurst, 20 at COTA, if I'm not mistaken. As I check my fact sheet, Circuit of the Americas has 20 corners, 11 to the left, 9 to the right. So yes, a very, very twisty, windy. Of course, the famous S sector has a little bit of everything, as I like to say. Ups, it has downs, both emotionally and physically in terms of elevation. And Dawson is a NASCAR fan, so he typically likes ovals, but COTA is a fantastic race. Yes, indeed. COTA, definitely a bit of a change to your circle track, but it is truly a little bit of everything. And that track, I think, made in 2017. I'm really testing my knowledge with this. I don't know why I'm going completely off memory here. But 2012. Oh, my goodness, 2017. Amateur. It was... It's 2012. This is why you don't say things without checking, Mike. A little bit newer of a track, of course, inspired by a lot of racetracks across the planet. What is my favorite track to watch, and what is my favorite track to race on, asks Dawson. Well, I personally, this is a very easy question for both. I love Silverstone. Silverstone, in my opinion, is the best track ever made. It's a very flat track, but beyond that, I do love me some elevation, don't get me wrong. But Silverstone is just a chef's kiss of corners and straight lines and overtaking opportunities and battling chances and high-speed corners. I can go on for days. I love Silverstone, not to mention the amount of history that's happened there. A circuit founded in 1948 off a World War II fighter base. Of course, there were plenty of those scattered over Britain after the war, but they decided to use this one to put a glorified circle on, and my goodness, did they put a good one. 3.6 miles with 18 corners, 8 to the left, 10 to the right, of just the most thrilling action on the planet, in my opinion, on whatever format of racing you have. MX-5s, motorcycles, GT cars, Formula 1. I don't care what you put on that track. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. And final question, what is my favorite real-life racing series? I'm going to be honest. You're not going to expect this one. I'm going to be completely honest, but I'm a bit of a MotoGP fan right now. It changes. My favorite I don't have a favorite, to be completely honest, but what I've been watching the most of lately has been MotoGP. That has been just the most, in all forms, Moto 1, 2, and 3, they have just been the most thrilling championships throughout. Same with British Superbikes, as well as American Superbikes. Super fun. I absolutely love the racing that motorcycles provide and the absolute crazy nuts that have a very small coconut, no offense. No, but they put on some amazing action. True gladiators of the planet, as I always say. If there's anybody to represent the Roman gladiators back in the days, I think motorcycle riders that ride out there on those tracks, those 1,000cc bikes, they truly have that title, even over some of the MMA stuff. Other than that, I love Formula 1. You know, don't get me wrong. I think everybody has the same opinion, though, on this Formula 1 season, even as much as I love it. And beyond that, GT racing, V8 supercars, anything, to be completely honest. Not too much of a NASCAR fan, interestingly. I'll watch a bit of the non-circle tracks, and I'll watch the circle track highlights. And IndyCar as well. I enjoy me some IndyCar. But yeah, getting to know Mike Nause here, the commentator. As I watch, like I say, I am a motorsports addict, and my weekends are typically spent doing nothing but that. And wow, big moment for Jace Wright. Huge tank slapper. Sends him straight into the barrier, and that is going to be the end of that lap. I think he will have time, though, to get back out on track to set a final one. We are coming down to the closing stages of qualifying with 3 minutes left to go in this session. Currently, Silva coming out onto the track in P1 with Albert Tranghisi trailing behind by 2.5 tenths. Still, that margin has not changed since the first few laps, and just over half a second to Vinicius Duzzi in P3. Ferrari 296, 1-2-3, looking strong here in Italy tonight. Their home track. And okay, final question. What's my favorite driver of all time? Now, that's an interesting question. I'm going to have to think about that one. Give me a second. I don't particularly have a favorite driver, to be completely honest. But if I had to... Drivers that... It's interesting, because I don't... That's such a tough question. That's such a tough question. Because of all time, too. It's such a... Comparing modern-day motorsports to old motorsports is almost impossible. So, you know, your Jim Clarks, your... what am I trying to think of here? I mean, even in I guess your modern-day racing, you know, you gotta have... It's just different. All drivers and all riders are all different, you know? I love me, and who doesn't love... honestly, this might be... It might be just this. It might just be Valentino Rossi, who is now a GT driver. So, could be my favorite driver of all time as well. Yeah, Valentino Rossi is a pretty good, safe pick. Valentino is such an incredible human being in every single way. Because that's what I like to look at when I look at drivers as well. I don't just look at their on-track stuff. I want to look at their off-track stuff too. And Valentino Valle is a great guy, as well as an absolute monster on the track. So I got tremendous amounts of respect for him. Maybe also like Casey Stoner. I really like Casey Stoner. He's pretty cool. I know he doesn't do too much anymore. I think he's too battered and bruised at this point, which I don't blame the guy. But probably not my favorite. Probably just one of. Yeah, that's a tough question, though, Dawson. Who's yours? And what's your favorite? Now it's time to put over to you. What are your favorite tracks, and what is your favorite driver? Or what is your favorite track, and who is your favorite driver? As the checkered flag now falls. Well, not yet. Hold on. Checkered flag now falls. Any driver to come across the line at this point will no longer be able to start a lap. Any driver to come across the line before that, though, will be able to finish it, barring they don't invalidate. And that will be the challenge, of course, for the likes here of Vinicius. Vinicius, who was on for a pole position lap last time around and ended up blowing it on the final corner. Is he going to make the same mistake again? Takes it nice and tight this time, but he still runs it a bit wide. Loses a few tenths as a result of the back marker. Comes across the line. It isn't enough for pole position. 1.5 tenths off the pace is Vinicius towards Silva. It is a SOT front row as it stands. Can Albert Tranghisi change that? I'm not sure he can. He's currently dead even with his Delta. Now heading towards the final few corners. The triple right-hander, you can see the Tranghisi designed TDR in it, 296. Through the penultimate corner, flat out, very deep, and it's too deep. Invalidates, is going to practice a pit entry, which was a very poor pit entry as well. Going to need to practice that one a few more times. Yeah, Tranghisi not able to put it together at the very end there. Maybe a bit mentally frustrated after the final race, or after last race. Very well could be. And the session is now over with Cunha da Silva in P1, Vinicius Duzzi in P2, and Albert Tranghisi in third. An update here on Dawson. Favorite track is Charlotte Motor Speedways in North Carolina. Literally lived a half mile from it. Awesome. Charlotte, very short, right? Oh, man. I don't know my circle tracks, but I think Charlotte is one of the shorter tracks, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's one of the extremely long ones, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the shorter tracks. And favorite driver is Ricky Stenhouse. All right. It's a name that I'm familiar with. Not too much on their accomplishments, but I definitely have heard of that. Any other chat members that want to participate as well, feel free to throw your favorite information into chat as well. I'm very curious. Favorite motor racing as well, obviously NASCAR for Dawson Haywood here. But love to get to know you guys, as well as getting to know some of these drivers. As it stands, though, have a little bit of a calm before the storm, before we head on in towards the race and the outlap, 2.6 mile outlap here at Misano. 16 corners, 6 to the left, 10 to the right. Tricky track, I think, is a bit of an understatement. It's tough. Not too many ups and downs in terms of elevation, but emotionally it really can bring it. And we saw that at the very end with drivers running out of fuel. So we may see some of these drivers overfuel this time around, which may not be the worst strategy. Albert Tranghisi really going to be kicking himself at the end of that first race. Puts Jace Wright into the lead of the championship, actually. Even with the... Wait, does it? Did Jace even finish? I don't even know if Jace made it to the line. See, I didn't even see that. It wouldn't catch if Jace Wright finished the first race. Nonetheless, if he did, he will have taken the lead in the points, as he had 1 point. But that is only race 1. So heading on to race 2 now. Albert with a redemption arc. And Rocky Rocco saying rain LOL in chat as well. We will find out soon enough. Also, some support to the... And now this is not my words. This is Nato Flow's words. SOT, the best team ever. Or should I say, the best team in the world. With the Brazilian pilots of Duzi, da Silva, and Rousseau. Is Rousseau out there tonight? I saw the name. I have not mentioned Fabiano too much, though. I thought I saw his name. Yeah, he is out there. Oh, yeah, never mind. I take back what I said. I'd mentioned his name. He DNF'd. Apologies. Fabiano with, I think, a double penalty, or no, was that... Regardless, let's not misquote something here. This I don't remember. And Nato with hugs from Brazil, hugs back here from North America, up in the West Coast. I'm up here in the very... And I'm saying the right names. Nato, I don't believe you fully, but I am trying my absolute best. I know that Kuna, I think, is close. I don't think I'm right, but I think it's at least the best American pronunciation that I can do with my knowledge of Portuguese. Regardless, we need to get in here, and we need to meet all of these drivers. And as we have it here, starting in P1, it's going to be the Brazilian driver. In fact, it's a Brazilian front row lockout this time around. Cunha da Silva from the Spirit Onyx team, the number 12 driver, lined up in pole position. Next to him, his teammate of the SOT, Vinicius Duzzi, the 12-year-old driver in the 25 SOT Motorsports. Sure, we'll go with that regardless. Albert Tranghisi in the Tranghisi designed livery here. Lovely number 1 painted on the car, as he was the championship last time around in Season 2 of the Friday Night League. Danny Madrano lined up in P4 this time around in the Rockefeller Racing Lamborghini, looking to make a decent result this time around. Let's hope he can hold that, with Jace Wright biting at his heels here. They're going to be coming at him like a charging bull, very fitting for him, and the two Lamborghinis once again breaking up the sea of prancing horses. In P5 here is Jace Wright. Santiago Vengas looking for a good recovery drive here, as he had a DNF last time around. I think one of these drivers did. I think it was Santiago, the Colombian in the Ethereum Esports team, with Fabiano Rousseau in the SOT, number 78 in P7. Rocky Rocco on the Rockefeller Racing with his windshield wipers on. Turn those off, Rocky. There's no rain. Lined up here in P number 8, the number 647 with Joey Raymer in P9. Devin Anthony, the Rockefeller Racing number 664, rounding out our top 10 here. A McLaren Evo 2. Very few on the grid here tonight. Very few. Lots of Ferraris, I will say, with a Lamborghini as well of Justin Gottlieb in P11, the number 1 car, next to Anthony Macho Man Camacho in the S&B Racing number 14 Audi, with Todd Tillery close behind in that 6th row, or excuse me, 7th row in for Todd Tillery in P26 in the Tango Racing. The Polish driver of Fikir Azka in P14, the number 74, Lamborghini Evo 2 lined up here next to Gray Mulis in P15 with Leonardo Nava in P16. Patrick Dubois, 17th quickest, with last but not least here, the Gravel Trap Racing 992 of Michael Gravelle, bringing up the back. But of course, like I said, last but not least, fellow Mike. Let's hope he can make something happen here. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. And Mulis isn't like Mulis. It's more like Mullis. Mullis! Oh my goodness, I've heard that name before. No, that's... The light has dawned on my eyes. It is Mullis. Apologies for the Steam notifications. That was me, not you. I apologize. I need to figure out how to turn that off when I'm streaming. Stop. And regardless, as we head on now into the session, taking a look here at our drivers, getting ready. Been gatekeeping that information because Mullis is hilarious. Well, look, now that you've given me the keys to the kingdom, it's Mullis. Mullis. Regardless, I'm going to butcher that a few more times, I almost assure you. We are, though, getting ready to come around the final corner now. Curva Misano, lining up here in P1. It's a night race. The braking zones are going to be ever so hard to spot. Cunha da Silva in P1. Next to him is going to be Vinicius Duzzi. I'm Mike Nause in the booth as we get ready to go green here at Misano for race 2. 45 minutes on the clock, and we are green, heading to the first chicane now. It's going to be a smashing start for both SOT drivers, but it looks like Duzzi is going to be out to a better one. Late on the brakes, though, goes his teammate, but it's too deep, in fact. Is that going to compromise him on the rejoin? He is going to rejoin ahead. Will he hand that position back behind? Side by side, Jace Wright as well as Santiago Vengas. Vengas, though, going to be falling up short there behind Jace Wright as well. Excuse me, Daniel Madreno making a lunge in that Lamborghini. Not going to happen just yet. The drivers nip and tuck into the first sector. Nice and clean so far. Devin Anthony trying to make some gains as well. Rocky Rocco in P7 with a bit of a gap here. And Jace Wright in P5. Can he make up a position? This is going to be one of his best chances, but no, nobody going for that run into this corner. Taking it safe with 45 minutes on the clock. Definitely a smart move here. The two Brazilians currently leading the way. And very early on the brakes there goes Duzzi. We saw there as well, Silva did not hand back that position. We'll see if the stewards take a look at that or if the teammates are going to be screaming at each other in chat. Irrelevant of that. Of course, that will be the steward's decision later. Jace Wright has a great run here into the triple right-hander. Is going to back off, though. But no, Daniel Madreno is late, or early on, late, deep into the corner, and gives the opportunity not just to Jace Wright, but also hands it right to Santiago Vengas. Is going to fend that one off, though. Not going to be losing two positions in one corner, will he? Carries on for now. The Colombian driver trying to do what he can. Now into the first chicane once again. Lap 1 completed. A very clean lap 1. Great compared to last time around. Some drivers already exploring track limits and having some invalid laps here. That may cost them later. As I say that, Santiago Vengas on cue goes off. I don't think that one will pick up a warning, but pick up 4 warnings and you will see a drive-through penalty. In the night, it's such an easy thing to do as well. Albert Tranghisi, he's falling off the back of Duzzi and Silva, the two SOT drivers, getting plenty of love in chat. As is that Avandro Oliveira Duzzi in chat, supporting SOT as well, and I'm assuming supporting Vinicius out there. Vinicius, I think, yes. behind the wheel here. The 12-year-old driver behind the wheel of the 25 Spirit Onyx team in P2 right now. Like I said, everybody, do not let this fact be lost on you. This driver is currently 12 years old. He has so much more to go in his sim racing career. And with talent like this already, I can only see great things in the future for Vinicius. Daniel Madrano currently battling with Jace Wright. This is for P4. Daniel Madrano in the Rockefeller Racing Lamborghini. Has a look onto the inside, thinks better of it though, as Jace actually a little late on the brakes and covering that very nicely. Can see these drivers, very liberal usage of curbs for these GT3 cars. I would have expected that first chicane to throw these cars a bit more, but you can clearly see these cars not for the faint-hearted, and they may have a little bit more talent than I do behind the wheel of these GT3s. Of course, that is why I commentate and why these guys are out on track. Stick to what you're good at, everybody. Vinicius, he needs to stick to what he's good at, because he is doing an excellent job so far. And like I say, 12 years old and already with the talent and patience as well. That is the one thing I see with some of the younger drivers, even the younger ones of 17. You know, they get eager. You go for moves that aren't really moves. You send gaps that aren't really gaps. And then, you know, you can get a bit of a hot head. That doesn't seem to be Vinicius his way. Though I wouldn't count out the hot-headed thing, as he is Brazilian. And no offense to you Portuguese guys in chat, but you're emotional. Let's put it that way. You guys are emotional, and that is part of the reason that I love the Brazilians as much as I do. You guys are so passionate for what you do. And that is something that gets lost in America. Passion, desire, all that. You know, the Brazilians, they really amplify that to another level. And I think it is so awesome to see. So big shout out to all the Portuguese friends out in chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. And even if you're struggling to understand some of the things I'm saying, thank you for trooping it out, as I know it can be a little tough, the translation between English and Portuguese. But I appreciate all of you. And I don't know why YouTube does this, but they put a little heart icon right in front of the chat that I want to read. What is that? Oh, okay, I see. Three pros and the rest are AM. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I think a lot of these drivers have a good bit of talent, as especially here. Well, Albert Tringesi, I'm assuming you were in that equation as well. But Jace Wright, I would definitely say he might not be a pro just yet. Jace Wright, though, the controller king, is a little bit of a semi-pro, and when that man moves over to a steering wheel, well, he might suck for a couple weeks, but I think he will learn how to tackle that challenge and move on to bigger and better feats. I know that is in the works for him. Jace Wright, a driver I'm very familiar with. I've seen plenty of his races over at Trackalicious, and oh no! Oh my goodness, this looks like a big one, everybody. What has happened back here? On the back, not so straight. We're flat out here. This is going to be one of the SOT drivers, Fabiano Rousseau, catching up there to... Oh, he catches the curb under braking, loses the back end of the Ferrari. You can see nowhere to go for the McLaren, and unfortunately, I think that was... Who was that as well? Was that the Audi of Anthony Macho Camacho? Yes, I presume it was, as he's actually been disqualified. Did he get disqualified for that contact? What? Anthony, I really hope you're in chat right now and can explain what just happened, because I do not think you got disqualified for something that you did. People think that in Brazil you speak Spanish. Yeah, that is the very common. American, I'll just say it how it is, okay? I'm not going to we're not that bright up here, okay? At least at times. I can use that as an excuse as well. You know, I got the ignorant American excuse, which is great. But, yeah, no luck there for the SOT driver, unfortunately. as just one incident led to another and the back end slipping out, unfortunately. I should have went on board and showed that, as honestly it'd be pretty even hard to see from on the onboard. It happened so quickly. I'm getting on the throttle too earlier. But I cannot believe that that resulted in Anthony Camacho getting a disqualification. I really want to hear what he has to say about that. And I almost wonder if I can make that dream become a reality? Maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know this Discord well enough. There's too many channels. If anyone can get him on the ringer. Anthony Macho Camacho. Whoa, bumping and banging from Santiago Vengas and Daniel Madrano. The Colombian driver elbows out there to get that position done. Up at the front, Vinicius and Kuna. Are there any team orders? That's the question I have. I know these two know the answer to that. We don't, and it looks like, as I say that, there are some team orders happening. I think that this looks intentional here. I think Silva is... We're going to know at this next corner, that's for sure. Or was that a mistake? I think that was a mistake. I don't think we have any team orders on play here. We have a straight-up scrap for the lead of this race, and Albert Tranghisi could not be more thrilled. See, oh, a little bit of contact. Keeping it clean enough for now, though. Little tap onto the rear diffuser of the 296 that can really affect the handling if enough of those add up. Currently, though, coming out around the corner to complete lap 5. 35 minutes and 30 seconds left. These drivers with a lot of time on the clock, and they need to be aware of that. They're currently lapping quicker than Jace Wright, which is good. They will be pulling away from the rest of the pack. They could use each other and work together. Now, telling racing drivers to work together and to back off a little bit, now those are sometimes not quite in their vocabulary. We will definitely see. Albert Tranghisi, we've seen a very patient display from him in the past. Just an opportunistic overtaker. Maybe sometimes he goes for a gap that isn't quite there, but hey, that who doesn't, you know. Nonetheless, looking strong so far. Why don't we take a look here at, hopefully as I take a look at this livery, we're going to see a move, I guarantee it. But we're going to take a little look here at these liveries at play here. The SOT livery first, Spirit Onyx team. Not a good enough run from Albert Tranghisi. Nice flat track, and it allows us to get a great 360 view as well with no camera shakes. Love it. Excellent work put into whoever made this livery. And I think I just saw in the background a Ferrari maybe going a little bit too wide. We're going to hop on board now with Vinicius Duzzi. And he's been an owner of an ACC league in Brazil for 9 weeks. Race grind. Details, and for the drivers, for the absolutely, Nato. I would absolutely love that. And Rosa, welcome. I have unfortunately forgotten my my Portuguese greetings. But welcome, welcome. And I appreciate you tuning in. Like I say, I know some of these words don't translate well. I know that. And the fact that you guys do stick around, you're troopers, and I appreciate that. How do you contact me? You can contact me on Discord if you would like. Mike Nause over on Discord. If you find me in the SFR GT Challenge Discord or the Trackalicious, I'm around. You can find me, yeah, on, like I say, Discord, and send me a message there. That would be great. Can add that one into my little notebook. You can, if you want to just send me a document, Nato, that would be nice. Or send me some information about them. Like I say, that will be the best way. A call can be sometimes hard to arrange. But back to the action. Santiago Vengas currently chasing Jace Wright still. This battle has been going on for quite a while now, and I don't see it letting up. If they do keep this scrapping up in a battle too hard, Daniel Madrano is going to sneak his way in. He's currently trying to make up positions. He's down 2 positions, and well, would you look at that, there are 2 positions right in front of him that if, like I say, if these two keep it up, they will be ripe for the taking. And Rosa is a driver of SOT. Awesome. Yeah, like I say, if you want to contact me with information about those drivers and send me a nice like document that I could, yeah, with the drivers' names and a little bit about them, that'd be perfect. And their contribution to the community as well, what they do for your community, that'd be awesome. Give a little shout out there. I love all of those little facts. I'm gonna need a breakdown on pronunciation. Is it Calabreso? What does that mean? First off, I should probably ask what that means before I say that, now that I think about it. It's a little too late now. I hope that wasn't bad. Still, up at the front, it has calmed down a little bit. You can see all 3 drivers lapping within a couple tenths of each other. Keeping the margins consistent, no doubt. And that's really what these guys need to do right now. As going for a battle only will hurt them later on in the race. It'll hurt their tires. It will hurt their, I mean, potentially their body work. If they get a little too over-eager, might you say. Keeping that gap nicely, though, to 1 second for now, and just pulling away from Jace Wright is really all they need to do, preventing any sort of overcut, any sort of strategy. And Jace Wright, he's also got problems of his own to deal with right now, with the Colombian breathing down his tailpipe. It's Anthony, and yes, you got DQ'd for driving the wrong way. Oh no! Anthony Macho Man Camacho is not macho enough for the ACC game, clearly. Anthony, brother, that is such a insulting way to get disqualified. Oh my goodness, that sucks, dude. Like, the worst part was, I mean, I didn't look at your onboard. I'm not sure how much you could have done, but from my end, it didn't look like there was much. You had to react in a very short margin of time. And getting disqualified for something that you didn't cause must really sting. Oh, I mean, yeah, I feel for you. I really feel for you. Thank you very much, Leiko. And Naro, I am Mike Nause. Mike, N-A-U-S-E, if you're looking for me on Discord. I am for anyone curious, I'm the main commentator over at Trackalicious, where we commentate a lot of other North American racing. We got Thursdays, Sundays, and as well, Monday leagues, Monday rookie leagues, in fact, if you guys are looking for a nice rookie league. As well, to all the Portuguese drivers in chat, I know I said it before, I'll say it again. We have a Porsche Cup Championship that is on 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and it is the preload to our GT3 main event, which we also have. This championship, though, on SimGrid is there's a very large Portuguese presence. We have the likes of Lucas Mind in that championship, the Lil Brazilian. Mind on Twitch, an absolute legend. I love him so much. He is so funny. I'm sure you guys are familiar, and if you're not, I would highly recommend if you're looking for a good ACC Portuguese streamer. I go back to what I said before, the emotions. A very emotional driver, a very passionate driver, and I love it. Lucas Mind, absolute legend. And he is a driver in that series. But we are definitely down on cars for that league and looking for some more drivers. So I really encourage, we have a Portuguese commentator that joins us as well for that one. So we got as much Portuguese coverage as we possibly can and are looking for more of you guys to join. Oh my, Gray. Gray, I have no idea, man. Did you... My only thought would be that you accidentally load, because I've done this, the only reason I say this, I'm guilty of this myself. You set your fuel and you set everything up and then you go and you reload the strategy and reset it. Azka here, the Polish driver, is trying to make a move onto Todd Tillery. This is a battle for P9 in the 296, no, Lamborghini Evo 2 versus the 296. Leonardo DeAndreas? DeAndreas? Oh, how do you say that? Well, that's tough. See, I'm gonna pull it now. I'm gonna use the excuse, my ignorant American card on that one. I'm not sure how you say, is it DeAndreas or is it... No, it wouldn't be Day. It's just DeAndreas, right? DeAndreas? DeAndreas! That's how you do it. Yes, perfect. I just said a million things, so I'm not sure which that was perfect to, but I'm assuming it was the last one. Is it the last one? Oh, I make a fool of myself here sometimes. And don't worry, that also happens over on the Trackalicious stream. Still have not seen any team orders as of yet. Cunha da Silva leading this race and has been for the past 12 laps. Took the pole position in qualifying. You can see the priority to the lead car here for now. But will Vinicius make a move? Awesome, Nato. I can't wait. Yeah, like I say, highly encourage you guys to join that league, as it is a smaller league, but it is truly, like I say, we're trying to get the numbers back up, as we've had a previous Porsche Cup Championship, and it is a really exciting one. I love Porsche Cup cars, flat six engines. Who doesn't love hearing the roar of those buzzing bees? Wow. Spa with 82 drivers. Holy smokes. Good luck, Nato. That is a task, really. Oh, my. Also, not again. Santiago Vengas is really struggling to keep it between the mayo and the mustard here tonight at Misano. And Rosa with even more SOT support. Let's go. SOT leading the way. Can they keep it up? Spirit Onyx team is going to have a change in lead here, I think. Deep goes Cunha into the first few corners, but he sticks with it on the inside. Wide goes Vinicius. We're going to see Tranghisi try to follow him through and go 3 wide now, potentially onto the back straight, but no. Silva covers that off. We're heading now through the start-finish straight, into the first chicane, side by side, and Albert Tranghisi misses his braking zone and contacts both cars. Oh my goodness, everybody. We're going to watch this from the helicam, but I don't think there's any doubt from that first camera view what happened here as we see the cars. Just a slight misjudgment from Tranghisi, and oh, that is huge contact for both of the SOT cars. Let's hope they can make it back around to the pit phase. They're going to have to take their pit stop early this time around. Luckily, they had built up enough of a gap to Jace Wright to keep the lead. Silva stays ahead now with Albert Tranghisi behind, but Doozy, does he have damage? Okay, Jace Wright is going to increase that gap even further. He goes off the track. Let's see. Doozy with a fully repaired car. Does Tranghisi have a fully repaired car? Let's see. As Tranghisi had the lightest hit, so I definitely produced. Yeah, all the cars actually look relatively intact, to be completely honest. And it happened at night. Yes, it's night coming into play. You get blinded by the lights ahead, and caught like a deer in the taillights was Albert Tranghisi, locking up there unfortunately, and just a slight misjudgment has almost cost so much. Luckily though, all drivers able to keep it relatively under control, not cause anything, and they had built up enough of a gap to Jace to still keep the lead for the three of them. Jace needs to keep his head down, though, as now there is potentially some more points on the table to gain in that championship. He is currently leading the championship as it stands. Albert Tranghisi was the leader by 1 point before the previous race. This time around, though, is going to be behind after a DNF in race 1. Absolutely terrible result, unfortunately for him. A misjudgment on the strategy with 1 corner left to go. He did not make it to the line, and he had to take to a slip road. Wasn't the only driver, though, for that to happen, as we've had quite a few drivers run out of fuel here tonight. And Anthony, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Wonder if the reason your car turned off wasn't fuel, something else. Were you hitting the ignition button? That's the only other thing I got, man. I have no idea. That is a very weird thing to happen. I do gotta say, like, if you were hitting the ignition button, that would kill the car. Into the pits goes Silva. You were hitting the ignition button? Well, that would do it. If you hit the ignition car while you're driving, it'll kill it. Right? Maybe it won't, now that I think about it. Does it? Turned off? Oh, yeah. Hitting it, turn it back on. Yeah. But I think if you turn the ignition off while you're driving, well, okay, this is a dumb statement, but if you turn the ignition off in-game while you're driving, your car will turn off. Yes, obviously, if you turn the ignition off while you're driving. Do not try to recreate that, anybody. Just a forewarning, do not try to turn your ignition off while you are driving. Bad things will happen. Most cars probably won't even let you do that. Yeah, if you hit the ignition key while driving, it turns off. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the only thing that I could think of. I have no idea what else would cause that. We only have 20 minutes left, or 18 minutes, 38 seconds left of this race. Time has actually flown by in this one. Thank you to chat for really making that happen. They've been some incredible racing as well. Thank you to the drivers for providing some great action. But really, chat, you guys have been awesome tonight. Thank you so much for keeping me entertained and allowing me to provide some nice entertainment for you. And once again, if you guys are enjoying, if you guys want to hit that like button on the stream as well as the subscribe, it helps out a ton. And we appreciate every one of you, and it's free here on YouTube. So thank you very much to everybody that does that in advance. Yeah, Gray, we caught some of your action. Definitely will be, you gotta want to go back and maybe see that, because I think we caught a good bit of your action, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not too much. We caught a little bit of it. But I know driving that BMW must be a little bit of a challenge around this track, as a very a track that kind of favors oversteer, as there's some very sharp corners, lots of chicanes. Having that understeery BMW can really be a challenge. Santiago Vengas here trying to make a move on to his fellow 296 brother of Todd Tillery. This is a battle for P8. Vengas trying to recover from that drive-through penalty that he picked up earlier on. Actually, 2 drive-through penalties. Vengas is just not able to keep it between the lines here tonight. Really, really struggling to do so. And you were inducing rotation with trail braking in most corners. Awesome. Yeah, this is a very trail braking heavy circuit. The chicanes, you got to use braking while turning. It's a tricky, tricky beast. And this track, you really got to be good at, especially through this first few corners, as we see right here. Very easy to understeer off into the barrier on that left-hand side, as well as just have a oversteer moment, trying to go from understeer. All of a sudden, your front end gripping up massively, your rear end not able to compensate for it, and just throwing you off. And with a tank slapper, we actually saw Jace Wright do exactly that earlier. Patrick Dubois has had a yellow flag here. Let's see what happens. Into the first chicane we go. We're going to ride on board with Dubois. Way too deep. Okay, doing his best Sum 41 impression there. He is trying to keep up above in his head instead of going under, and he was not able to do so in this occasion. Patrick stranded off into the grass and rejoins behind Fikri Azka in the Y-Lab E-Racing number 74, the Polish driver here. Also, Rocky Rocco Rockefeller Racing has caught up with Joe Raymer here. Might see some tangling up potentially here. Rocky Rocco off of his recovery after having a very unfortunate incident with his leg, as well as a few other real-life incidents going on. Rocky has managed to make it out on track tonight despite everything against him, and he is so far in P6. Last race, not quite the result I think he was looking to put on the table. This time around, though, he's trying to change that and move into the top 5. Following along with Joe Raymer right now, we're going to follow on board with Rocky Rocco. Late on the brakes there, and a lunge that's going to send him deep, but allow him to carry some speed potentially. But no, actually, most of that was scrubbed off at the apex. Very hot into the corner. Now, going to be setting up on towards the back, not so straight bit of this track, as I like to call it. Heading towards Curveron. Flat out all the way into the triple right-hander here. You can see the understeer. He's trying to cope with it. Rocky in that dirty air is going to be gaining still onto Joe, though. Joe with a not quite a defense just yet. He's basically just driving. Rocky actually struggling to stay behind right now. Rocky on fresh tires. Joe Raymer did not take tires in the pit phase. We'll see if that comes to bite him a little bit later on. This is going to be about the time that we see the window where these tires are going to start to fall off a cliff. Up at the front as well, we have a long pit stop for Cunha da Silva. And as a result, Albert Tranghisi has taken a very, very controversial lead here tonight. Vinicius in P4 behind Jace Wright. Can he catch him? 5 seconds in 13 minutes is a doable ask. It's a tough one, though, when you are still lapping slower than the car in front. That is actually it's an impossible task if the car in front is quicker than you, obviously. Not state the obvious on that one. So very unfortunate there for the SOT team after getting tangled up in that lap 1 contact after the misjudged braking zone of Albert Tranghisi. Tranghisi being the one to benefit off of it, arguably. But a win will be a win. if he can manage it. 7.6 seconds. It's looking good. Though, Silva actually is quite quick. 133.5 last lap to a 134. To a 134.3. Almost a second difference. Silva might wheel in Albert Tranghese by the end of this. Definitely don't count the Brazilian driver out just yet. Rocky getting eager, but not able to find a gap that is suitable for a 296 to make a move into. Joey, on point so far. Tight corner there for Rocky. You can see that will most certainly be a warning in terms of track limits. He's going to try to get the run even with that and go for an outside overtake. Needs to be careful if he picks up too many of those. In fact, 4 of them to be exact. He will be having a stern talking to with the stewards, but at worst, he will be having a drive-through penalty. Nicely done. Rocky is going to have a stellar exit onto the back, not so straight here. Through Corvarone, he should have an incredible run. In the slipstream as well, the 296 versus the McLaren. That McLaren definitely with better straight line speed than the 296. But the slipstream, is it enough? No, it isn't. He is too far behind as they approach the end there into Del Carro. And heading now towards the penultimate corner, flat out. And then the last but not least, Kervin Misano. To continue this battle on to the next lap. And Fabiano Rousseau, I'm assuming that is in chat, supporting his fellow teammates over at SOT. And they're going to need the energy, that's for sure. Silva, 6 seconds now is the gap. After about a lap and a half, he's cut that down by a second, and he's still gaining. Albert Tranghese, without taking tires in the pit phase, was that a mistake? Will that 5 seconds come to bite him at the end? It wasn't just the 5 seconds, though, for Silva. Of course, he had that damage to repair as well. And by the looks of it, I do not think Tranghese repaired the damage. I think that is where we see the difference. Tranghese didn't repair the damage in the pit lane and was stationary for 27 seconds. Silva was stationary for almost 10 seconds longer at 36.4 seconds. Very fascinating stuff here tonight as we approach the final 10 minutes. Of course, this is race 3 of 8. And if you guys want in on this championship, well, Mike, what is this championship? You ask me. I know I've said this a few times, but if you are just joining, this is going to be a race to round 8. And the leader of the championship at the end here will receive a $100 USD cash prize. And all winners on the podium, top 3 at the end, will receive a Coach Dave's sponsored Coach Dave Academy bundle, the top-notch setups bundle. So big thank you to Coach Dave. Big thank you to SimGrid for sponsoring this event. You guys are absolutely awesome, and we would not be able to be here without you guys. Thank you as well. SFR GT Challenge, providing some incredible racing as well, and some great championships. If you guys are interested, in the description, you can find the link there, as well as to their Discord, where they offer plenty of events. Currently, though, the Friday Night GT3 Challenge. We're watching Rocky Rocco try to make his way into the top 5 after this is essentially his debut race. A re-debut race. He has not raced in about a little over a month. And after not having any practice, coming back to that Ferrari 296, which can be a real challenge, he's doing an excellent job of it. It's definitely something to be said. Now, Coming on towards the final corner again, Rocky Rocco just not able to gain what he needs to gain. Why don't we do an onboard lap here with Silva? I'm curious to see what it's like behind the wheel here of this Onyx 296. As we head on to the back straight now, or front straight, I should say. Flat out. Going to be looking to the braking zone. Off to the green stuff. We're going to put our wheels on there and attack that apex very... what's the word? Late to open the corner up there, but still able to carry a tremendous amount of speed through that corner. Very interesting that Silva takes quite a different line from Albert Trengisi, actually, when you compare them under a microscope. Now, on through, is it Tramonto? I think is how you say that. Heading towards Curvarone, the back not so straight, flat out, heading towards it. Nicely taken, and now approaching Curva del Carro. This is where you can really make or break a lap. You can see that car twitching under braking, so you have to brake while turning quite a bit there. And now using the trail braking into the final corner, third to final corner. Now through the penultimate, flat out. A little bit hot through there, but keeping it under control and tilting that car in to come around through Curva Misano to complete another lap here. Looking really strong as well. Only a 10th off his quickest lap, and he currently holds a purple lap behind Albert Trengisi. The gap is now 4 seconds. The gap is 4 seconds, but track position, is it more important? And every race every week? Well, why don't we pull up the calendar real quick, because it's a little hard to see, especially if you're on mobile, but nonetheless, you can get a decent glimpse of it here, where next week we will be over at Circuit of the Americas. And that will be a 60-minute race, November 3rd, followed up by November 10th and 17th. No, okay, there's a bit of an off week between round 6 and round 7. Looks like there is a 2 weeks off, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But then after that, it will come back December 1st to December 8th. So a race every week up until November 17th for right now. And then there will be a small little gap, followed up by more incredible racing here to close out the championship for $100 on the line here. Albert Trengisi looking to deliver tonight, putting on quite the show in race 1. He is looking to deliver. Let's hope he can make it to the line this time, as I'm sure he is going to be hoping that himself. Though I predict that a couple drivers maybe just said, you know, I'm just going to put 61 liters in, as we saw from in chat, where it's just better safe than sorry. You know, let's just significantly overfuel just in case. Missing Watkins Glen? Well, if you're looking for a Watkins Glen race, I will just do a cheeky little promotion for the community that I'm in as well. We actually have upcoming a 6-hour race at Watkins Glen. It's going to be a GT3 and GT4 multi-class race where it's going to be a team driver swap. 6 hours, like I said, starting at 8:30 Pacific time, AM. Times are on SimGrid for whatever your time zone is. I'm not sure when it starts, to be completely honest. But it's an early morning championship for me, I know that. But that is going to be, like I say, 6 hours at the Glen in both GT3 and GT4. Pretty much the closest that you can get to real-life racing out there. So if you guys are interested, make sure you check that out, and sign-ups are available. And if you're looking for a team over in the Trackalicious Discord, you can find the Looking for a Team thing if you just Google Trackalicious Discord or Trackalicious Twitch. I'll stop posting the links, as this isn't my community. And if you guys do find that, you can join that, and we'll see you guys out there, as I'll be commentating that. So 6 hours in game, the wife will kill me. That's why you got teammates, Naro. That's why you got teammates. Using the feature in game of a driver swap, which if you guys do that, of course, make sure you practice your pit swaps, or your swaps. Make sure you practice. Very, very important. It's a very finicky system in game. and it can really make or break it. And also make sure driver 1 joins first, everybody. I'm just going to say that in advance. Make sure the first driver signed up on SimGrid joins the server first, or else it will break everything, because that's just ACC for you. But back to the action here at SFR GT Race, or SFR GT Challenge. Daniel Madrano chasing down Fikra in P10 here. He's trying to make his way into the top 10, is the Rockefeller Racing Lamborghini. Making a move through the high-speed triple right-hander. Is going to leave enough space, the 74 car. Taking it, though, to carry the speed? No, Daniel Madrano should have this done and dusted. Nice job there from the Lamborghini, dispatching the fellow Lamborghini. And into the top 10 goes Daniel Madrano. Rocky Rocco, I do not think we'll be able to dispatch Joey in time here, as it just seems Joey has the pace over Rocky. Rocky able to stick with him, but only just. And even struggling to do so at times. You can see they're a little late on the brakes. That actually is going to bring him deep there and may lose a bit of time on exit. And up at the front, this is going to be the one thing that everyone is wondering. The SOT driver, he has caught up with Albert Tranghisi. He is going to have a grand total of this lap to do it. This is... no. Oh, it's going to be so close. He may have another lap. I don't know if he's going to need it. He has the outside line and new tires and a repaired car. That will give him all of the aerodynamic advantage and grip, and this should be done for him. But no, Albert fights it back. Inside line into the hairpin, but way too deep. Goes one driver, I'm not sure which. And that great awareness there from Tranghisi. Tranghisi goes deep as well. Having a little bit of bumping and banging onto the back. Not so straight, but Kuna de Silva is going to be our new race leader. Albert Tranghisi, though, trying to dispatch him into the final few corners we go. This may be the final lap. This may not be. I honestly am not sure. It's going to come down to about 3 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even 2 at this point, as they've had a bit of tangling with each other. We may see another lap, and Albert is going to be hoping for that. And will Kuna lift off the throttle? That's the question. No, it's it. It doesn't matter. This is the checkered flag. Kuna de Silva comes across the line for the race win tonight, and Albert Tranghisi just not quite able to hold on that last lap. The new tires coming in clutch at the very last possible minute, and the SOT takes the victory tonight with Albert Tranghisi in the TDR right behind, and Jace Wright still, I think, may have this championship lead after this race with the results of race 1. It will be close, but I think Jace Wright will be our new championship leader heading into this. We have Vinicius Duzzi in P4, the 12-year-old Brazilian Spirit Onyx team driver. Comes across the line in 4th with Joey Raymer behind, and Rocky Rocco not able to gain that position either at the end. Justin Gottlieb in P12. Excuse me, in P7. Why did I say 12? Santiago Vengas, after serving not 1 but 2 drive-through penalties, comes across the line in P8 with Todd Tillery in 9th. Daniel Madrano will be rounding out our top 10 with Fikra Azka in 11th, Patrick Dubois 12th, Devin Anthony in 13th, and Michael Gravelle last but not least in P14. The Porsche just not quite able to show up tonight, hoping for the best in come Circuit of the Americas next week. Which, once again, if you guys haven't heard and are interested, signups are available still for this championship. Round 4 would be our halfway point at Circuit of the Americas, 60 minutes. Make sure you guys are signed up and make sure you guys are there, as it is going to be some incredible action. I love Coda. One of my favorite tracks. So much fun. Sweeping. Got a little bit of everything. You will need some DLCs for it, of course. But it is definitely worth it. Regardless, what a race this was tonight, and congratulations to all of our drivers, Kuna, Albert, and Jace especially, for bringing home that podium at the very end. Sharkbait, welcome. What racing that was. Thank you guys so much for participating tonight as well, and being here in this stream chat. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you beyond words. Thank you to everyone hitting the like and the subscribe button. It is free, of course. If you guys haven't done so already, please do so. It helps the algorithm. Share it with your friends. Share the league with your friends. And make sure you guys join it yourselves, as you don't want to miss any of this action. I have been Mike Nause, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an incredible stream. Once again, thank you to SFR GT Challenge for putting this on, as well as Coach Dave Academy for sponsoring, and SimGrid as well. Thank you, and good night to everybody. Hope you guys have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.